Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin.
15 PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. It's been a while since we all kind of talked together, but all the holidays are over and everything, and we're just kind of going through the internet looking at stuff. And, you know, it's always the same story, right? Every single time anything from the past that was like cool or like action movie, the person who made it has to like apologize for it. Oh, I'm so sorry I made that movie. I'm so sorry it made millions and millions of dollars and it's a legend and everyone will remember those original films. Oh God, I shouldn't have done it. So James Cameron's the latest apologizer to go back and say that he wouldn't have made the Terminator. One of the most seminal science fiction films. Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, probably some of the best science fiction ever written.
Right. Oh, amazing.
And it's just cool.
Very cool. Really hard to have a sequel be better than the original, and it really did, and had a good message. It was great. I loved it. The whole idea of the Terminator coming back and saving humanity is really cool, and he would regret making it. Yeah, that's really sad.
And this is from I think I got this off of comicbookmovie.com. There'll be a link in the description. But Avatar director James Cameron wouldn't make Terminator today. Says he regrets fetishizing the gun. So he means like firearms, you know, but he calls it the gun like it's a singular thing.
That's ridiculous.
Like there's only one gun in the world.
And he only had one.
Yeah, he only had one. He had the only one. And explaining how real-life gun violence has changed his outlook on action and even altered his approach to the Avatar, The Way of the Water. Just because I don't understand. You know how many people died in World War II? With gun violence? You know how many people have died through just getting beaten and killed with swords and being ran over with horses? The history of humanity is the history of violence.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just because one type of, it doesn't change anything.
Right, and also again, the gun is used by hero and villain alike in this, so I don't understand like the whole fact that he's saying
it's a tool.
We're glorifying it. It's like no, like what are you supposed to do when the villain comes? Just let him kill you?
You hug him to death, exactly. like in Steven Universe,
right? Or because even like his other movies, like he's the one who made Avatar and stuff, where you sit there and like use bow and arrows. That's still a weapon. Yeah. So I don't understand your idea of like, well, at least it's not a gun.
It's okay to use a spear and a bow and arrow and a rock and giant monsters to eat people, but it's not okay to shoot them. Right. What about all those women out there who had their lives saved because they were being attacked by a man who was much stronger than them, and that weapon was the equalizer? Oh yeah. What about them? They deserve to die?
And again, I know it's hard to find them on the newsreels because, whatever, but I hear those stories all the time where a woman's like, yep, I had my 2 sons, I was by myself.
My ex-husband, he was drunk, he kicked in the door.
Boom, I shot him, and I don't know what would have happened.
Or even having a gun present, they run away.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want to fight.
How many women have been attacked while jogging at night or on their way to their car, they have a night shift, and they were saved by a force multiplier, a weapon of some kind?
Yeah, yep.
And does he really truly think if he didn't make Terminator, it would have saved someone's life?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Well, he's thinking he's contributing to some de facto thing of gun violence, which I don't understand how this has anything to do with that.
Did he tell people to go out there and buy guns and shoot people?
And that's the other problem too, is that what happens is that if someone takes this story and takes like the negative and was like, oh yeah, I want to go around killing people, well, they clearly didn't like watch the movie.
And they would have done it anyways.
Yes, anything would have set them off.
Do you really think someone who actually went on to murder someone or do violence against anyone, the Terminator was the tipping point for them?
Right, yeah.
You know what's funny?
It's a heroic story.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, if you look at movies like back then and how, like, people would be saying, this leads to gun violence and all that. So you're saying they're right then. You're saying they're right. Isn't that crazy? You were so against that back then, and now you're saying they're right. It's crazy.
Yeah. Or, like, even when they went after rap music. Yeah. When they went after video games. Right. Now, that's the thing. It causes it. No. I guarantee you. I say all the murderers that happened in 2022, how many of those people watched The Terminator? These young kids never watched not the first one. No. They may know of it through just like social media and stuff like, oh, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger. But they never watched the film. So how did it, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. How did it cause it? And this is when it comes to people on the left, and they always have to, like I said earlier, like they have to apologize if they were like big action hero type stuff. And then they have to make amends with making new crappy movies.
And believe me, if you look at the latest Terminator movie, it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
They want this.
Oh my lord, it was horror, and they couldn't pick any smaller ladies. That little the Latina girl, I forget her name. When she was holding the pistol, and she did a couple of scenes where she's like aiming and shooting, the gun looked comically huge in her hands because she's like 5'3". So it looked like she was holding a big toy gun, but that's just the regular size because she's such a demure woman, and you can see her flinching on the recoil. It's like, no, she couldn't. I couldn't give this girl a rucksack and then say you have to do a 12-mile hike. Well, but thinking make shots at 150 yards. She can't do it,
right?
Because she just physically couldn't do it.
Well, and even changing the whole plot of it, where everyone was like, literally throughout most of all the Terminator movies, John Connor. Nope. Now all of a sudden it's okay that he's dead.
See, it wasn't enough to make it a woman.
Yeah.
Oh no, there can't be any gun violence. No, then it can't be this. Then it has to be all there. There has to be more people of color. There has to be more. This never-ending cycle of trying to appease the people that are never happy.
Yeah.
Because what's next? Okay, there's no guns, there's no white people, so you just have a bunch of people walking around with no conflict.
Yeah. Well, how can that be a Terminator
movie?
But
that's the way it should be.
I guess boring as all heck and just, 20 minutes of just, verbal conflict.
So they got a couple of quotes in here and they're always just fun to read. So James Cameron is saying, I look back at some of the films that I made and I don't know if I would want to make that film now. I don't know if I want to fetishize the gun like I did in a couple of my Terminator movies 30 years ago. In our current world, the director admits, what's happening with guns in our society turns my stomach. What about everyday regular violence? There's more people who are killed by other things than guns. It's hands and feet. Car accidents kill more people. That doesn't turn your stomach. Mm-hmm. If we're just talking purely numbers, you want to save as many lives, medical malpractice kills more people.
Yeah.
People with heart disease, that kills more people. So those things don't turn your stomach. Just it's so weird to point out one thing.
Yeah, one thing.
And there's over 1 million gun defenses in this country. Over 1 million. Mm-hmm. That save someone's life.
Yep.
And sometimes, like I said, they don't even have to pull the trigger. Just when that guy kicks the door open and that girl has a gun, that guy just turns tail and runs. So does that not make your heart happy? I wish it wouldn't happen at all. Yeah. Again, James Cameron, I believe in a world where we don't have violence, where literally 10 people are arrested a year.
Yeah.
Like we're like in Trek time, where everyone just kind of just does for the benefit of mankind. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
And I want the best tool to defend myself and my family.
Right.
Because the bad guy doesn't care.
I feel like that's the problem with a lot of these people is that they are not in touch with reality. Where we live in a world where there's bad people in it. They will come after you if you're not, and then even if you're not protected, I hope things work out for you, but I don't think they will. And again, James, I think he even says in the article later that he lives in New Zealand or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, great for you. What about the rest of us? We all can't just.
And the thing about New Zealand, people are being killed with crossbows.
Yes.
People are being killed with just knives. Knife attacks are on the rise in all these places that ban weapons because terrible, awful, horrible people are going to hurt you the best way they can.
Right. There was an article, I can't remember, I think it was Sweden or Denmark. Guy was taking people out with bow and arrow. Straight up just was like legless going out there.
But that's okay, it's a bow and arrow because you know what? He watched Avatar and saw those people using bow and arrows and it made him do it.
Right, and that's why I don't understand that. That logic is just as bad as going back to the old the comic book one. Comic books cause criminals because they read it when they were kids.
Yeah. Well, they thought the Joker was the coolest guy.
Yeah, no, that there's no connection whatsoever.
There's something wrong with your brain.
Yes. No, it's not the item you're using, it's your brain.
Then he says, I actually cut about 10 minutes of the movie. He's talking about Avatar: The Way of the Water. Movie targeting gunplay action. I wanted to get rid of some of the ugliness to find the balance between light and dark. That's such a weird thing to say. So someone defending themselves against someone who's going to kill them, that's darkness?
Right, which I don't know.
So it would have been better if, so the bad guy kicks the door in, goes after the lady, and she jams a kitchen knife in his throat. That's more? That's light? And then instead of him just shooting him, that's dark?
And that's what I was saying. So, so let's say, Avatar guys have swords or spears. So he picks up a sword now with this really bloody, cutting each other up. That's better?
They're so funny. Where there's blood and guts everywhere, you emboweled somebody. Or a big giant, whatever space creatures they have in Pandora chomps down on a guy or gourds him with a giant horn.
Right. Or
that's the light.
You get into a spacesuit and you rip the guy apart. That's...
Yeah, that's the light. The darkness is the gun.
Yeah.
You know what turns my stomach is having governments being tyrannical and not having their citizens have guns, and they overtake the citizenry. That turns my stomach. That's what I don't like.
And you have to stand by and do nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, because you have no
way to defend yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, that turns my stomach. Sorry, not people having individual guns that are law-abiding
Yeah,
citizens.
again, I say every female who has to live on their own and goes out on their own and lives like in a city, at least know how to use a weapon.
Yeah.
At least do some self-defense, because again, there's bad people in the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes these women just get strangled to death.
Yeah,
so the bad guy didn't have a weapon. His weapon was his tremendous size.
Yes. And sneaking up.
And again, this goes into a bigger issue of the self-defense classes that give people false, like, oh, I could do this move and that's going to beat this guy. I'm 6'4", 235. Unless you are trained hardcore to fight and defend yourself, if you're 5 foot nothing, there's really nothing you can do unless you have a force multiplier.
Well, that, and also I always feel like, you know what, bring many things to the table. Not just your training, pepper spray, all your stuff.
Avoiding situations that can get you in trouble in the first place.
Yes, and I feel like that's the problem when you do only one thing. You're like, oh, this is going to save me. No, stack that deck with you, not against you.
Do you remember that scene in him pulling dynamite? And he's like, oh, grab my wrist. Well, my other wrist. It has to be set up perfectly to do my little move.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Right.
Didn't Steven Crowder fight that one self-defense lady? And he just overpowered her.
Yeah.
He just got on top of her and just pinned her to the ground.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, too. And also you got to remember, too, if the guy is either, really out of it or whatever, he could just literally, just like I said, overrun you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really,
And the thing is, the best self-defense situation is the one that never takes place.
Right.
You walk into a room and you see some sketchy dudes and like that, and you just walk away and go home.
Right.
That's the best fight that ever could have existed because you didn't have to do nothing.
Yep, and also always trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, even though it looks fine, just leave.
Yeah, and what's the worst that's going to happen? Oh, you missed out on, I could have fun at the bar.
right, exactly. But anyways, I know it's kind of,
But we're talking about the darkness. Let's talk about the light where people beat each other to death. That's the light.
Or use knives to stab
giant rock. So did you know at the end of Halloween Ends when they threw him in the compactor thing and chopped his body, that was the light. Because they didn't use a gun on him. See, the guns didn't work. Only the light could have defeated him.
Well, you know what's funny? That's one thing I did notice about the later Halloween movies is that, guns never really,
Except for the end of the second one where they blasted the hell out of him and it didn't kill him.
It didn't kill him. But anyways, yes.
Because it was darkness. You can't use darkness to be darkness.
Yeah.
Only the light.
Or speaking of James Cameron, because he made Alita, right?
No, he produced it.
Produced it. When he cut that guy's face off, that was the light.
Yes. That was badass.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. But yeah, like I'm saying, so the gunplay isn't like, I don't know.
See, there's a way, again, if it was like, oh, this gun makes me powerful, and everyone who doesn't have a gun, they're my slaves and stuff. Yeah, there's ways to write the story to make it awful and horrible. But in your films, the good guys did good things with guns. The bad guys did bad things with guns, just like they did good things with cars and bad things with helicopters and motorcycles. They're just tools.
Yes.
So James Cameron is a tool. And I always said this. When someone talks like this, James Cameron already has enough clout where he can get any job he wants. So it's not to further his career.
No.
It's there's somebody he wants to bang.
And
I swear to God, that's what it is. And I guarantee you there's someone who's probably in their 20s who's like a radical feminist and he's trying to impress her.
Yeah, it's always that impressing, like, well, look, I'm this way. Like, I was always like this. And it's like, dude.
Or he got skeletons in his closet and he's trying to appease the mob, but they always get you.
Yep.
Because you're going to slip up.
Right.
And then the mob's going to come knocking at your door and tear you apart.
Mm-hmm. They're always going to find a video or something or what you said or something.
Something you said 10 years ago on Twitter, you'd be surprised.
Or someone pisses you off and you say something that was a little mean.
Yeah.
And everyone does that because you're a human being.
Yeah.
Part of the darkness. So, yeah, James Cameron's a tool. The only reason why I'd ever want Avatar to make any money is so maybe some way we get another Battle Angel.
Yeah, I just want to lead it. I don't want to
care about just let Robert Rodriguez direct it.
Yeah.
And, stop trying to be a political pundit. Just make movies.
Yeah.
You don't have to justify everything you do in a film. It's my art. That's why I did it. Oh, I did it because I'm trying to save humanity. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, you made it
That's
to make a movie.
It's pretentious.
Right.
I sniff my own farts and I get high on life in my butt.
Right. Cameron, back in the day, you probably made the movie because you wrote it
cool.
and it was cool and you wanted to make money. Okay, let's just be
all
honest
James
here.
Cameron would kick James Cameron's ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
With his gunplay.
And the thing is, if it wasn't Terminator, you would have nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And especially Terminator 2, because a lot of people didn't like Terminator 1 because it was too...
It was honky tonk, but I loved it.
Yeah, right. So really what shined him was the Terminator 2, the movie that he wouldn't make.
Super, super violent. But it was cool. Remember, you even had the Terminator not kill people.
Right, and then also that even had the perfect message of like how it's saying like humanity needs to change, and even the Terminator says that like it's in your nature to destroy yourself, so you need to like change that.
So you already had that in there.
And that ending with the road, where we don't know where it leads, what a beautiful, and the music, oh, it's such a great ending. I freaking love that ending. Because it's ambiguous, because what does the future hold?
Right, exactly. And the fact Terminator kills himself and he learns what love is in a sense, and like sadness.
Why humans get attached.
Yes. And
because like, why would you be attached to me? I'm a killing machine, but you were special to me.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was very cool. See, like I said, so it's not like he was like, this movie was just bloodthirsty and was like,
He's like, he kicks the Terminator into the lava, but leave your guns behind because that's what I truly loved. I fetishized them, and he's all like humping a machine gun. That's not what happened, James. No. Maybe you saw a different movie. Maybe you watched the freaking Triple X version of Terminator. I don't know. You must have watched the wrong version because it didn't fetishize guns in any way.
Anyway, no.
Actually showed that building weapons and getting there actually was bad. Because we ended up building the ultimate weapon that wiped us out. So, James, you're a doofus, and I can't believe. You think this is going to get you street cred?
Or clout with somebody.
Hey, kids! And he's wearing his little skateboard and his backwards hat. You're like 60 years old.
Yeah, you're done, dude.
You're done, dude. You're never going to be cool again. Crimson's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.